Boys and girls, Tuesday evening returns one of the historic rivalries of the modern era between Chelsea FC and FC Barcelona. Both clubs picked up impressive victories before the encounter this Tuesday evening, with Chelsea securing a 2-0 away win against Burnley and Barcelona thrashing 10-man Athletic Bilbao. Right now, the stage is evenly set between Chelsea and Barcelona, with both clubs picking up 4 wins against each other, with there being 6 draws in total, with Chelsea and Barcelona 11th and 12th respectively. A win on Tuesday is important for either team, but for myself as a Chelsea fan, I feel like we are going into this game, with some weapons that could really hurt Barcelona. So today, my friends, I'm here to tell you the 5 reasons why Chelsea can beat Barcelona this Tuesday. So you guys know the rules. Good luck, good vibes, good karma only. If you also feel like we're going to beat Barca on Tuesday, that's the only time you're allowed to hit that like button, yeah? And for the first reason why we can beat Barcelona, we have a certain Estevão Willian that is built exactly for this type of chaos. Now, Estevao is a player that just plays with this purity in his game. And one thing you're seeing already in this guy's young, budding career is that he doesn't fear any club, any situation, or feel the pressure. He goes into these encounters with pure purity of wanting to test himself against the best and rise to the occasion. It's a ridiculous, rare psychological tool that Estevão already has in his game, and is why he's already become so endearing, not just to Chelsea fans, but now the wider football public. This kid is going to be ready for Barcelona. He already knows the comparisons between himself and Joao. It's these two that are seen as the equivalent of the modern day Messi and Cristiano era. But already you're seeing a kid in Estevão that knows that he is one of the chosen ones. Last minute winners against Liverpool, epic showcases against Ajax, scoring for fun for the Brazil national team squad, where he's been that good that he's forced Ancelotti to change the entire system so he can fit alongside your Rodrigos and your Vini Juniors. He's getting treated like a star right now, not just a promising kid. His high-risk dribbles cause chaos and dysfunction, but from the end of these dribbles, they're leading towards shots. Against Ajax alone, he recorded the most shots out of any player in any game for Chelsea this season with 8. And he was desperately unlucky not to have scored at least more than 1 goal in that game. Estevão already is showing that promise that he is a player that can decide games. His ability to come inside, drag guys outside, arrive inside the box, generate power with the shots with barely any little backlift. We saw what Carlos Forbes did against Barcelona in that 3-3 draw. Now imagine Estevão down that right-hand side. Now without Cole Palmer, it does strip away a little bit of that unpredictability, but in its place now means that there is no automatic Cole Palmer solve everything. Now there's going to be different individual threats for Barca to think about. Threats down the left-hand side, threats through the middle, up front, and most importantly, Estevão on the right-hand side. In a tie where both sides have teenage wingers that everyone wants to talk about right now, it's not actually insane to think that the deciding one might be the one playing in the blue shirt come this Tuesday. And this leads me on perfectly to reason number 2, and that is Barcelona are weak in the wide areas. One of the common criticisms for Barcelona this season has been their ineffectiveness at dealing with threats out wide. We've seen Koundé not even starting the season. Seeing guys like Eric Garcia starting games at the beginning. And Koundé's had a slight fall off himself. You're looking at how Alejandro Balde also gets some criticisms for how too often he has to constantly be told to come back and stay in line with his defense. Now for Balde, it's not simply about lacking concentration. He also has to play both boxes and he has to support the attack out wide down the left-hand side. But it just means that it's harder for him to track back and come back to help the defense. And that means that Barcelona become very porous in those wide areas. And it's those wide areas that Enzo Maresca likes to set his teams up in with his overloading system to make sure that he is hurting teams in those areas. And this is where we now have ridiculous talent that could really hurt Barcelona. You have Pedro Neto, his pace, his directness, his ability to track back, and most importantly, his upper body strength, where he's able to keep the ball against any fullback. You now have Alejandro Garnacho, who is really hurting teams in behind with the timing of his movements and his runs. He's forming an excellent relationship currently with Enzo Fernández, and it seems like there's even more gears to turn when these guys improve and play more together. On the other side, Jamie Gittins, his footwork reminds you a little bit of Robinho. The tight turns, the tight exits, the close control, the flair that he's demonstrating right now. And already, this is a guy that has kind of been making his name already in the Champions League, because we can't forget all those exploits during his time at Borussia Dortmund. And to top it all off is probably the most talented winger that we have out of all the guys right now, and that's Estevão Willian. Barcelona are going to have an absolute headache when it comes to dealing with all the wide threat and the possibilities that we can show throughout the first minute to the last minute, because best believe all four of these guys are going to impact this game. And this leads us on to reason number 3. Barcelona's intensity has not been as consistent, and its intensity, a detail in which Maresca has dramatically improved Chelsea. Now, Barca can't really rely upon Rafinha anymore. Of course, players like Pedri and Frenkie de Jong are going to be available for the game, but Pedri won't be his true self. He's going to be carrying a little bit of rust. You've seen Barca experiment with guys in midfield, but even then, one of the common criticisms behind their game is how often that you can play through their midfield and attack and isolate their rest defense. It's happened time and time again. Last season, they were able to get away with it because they had the scoring form on their sides and they were outscoring the opposition to great effect. This season, they're not doing things too dissimilar to last season, outside of the fact that not having Gavi and not having that consistent midfield has kind of hurt their ability to maintain that intensity from the first minute to the last minute. This is an area in which Chelsea can really hurt Barcelona. We all saw how Moisés Caicedo was tactically rested against Burnley, so he's fit and ready, and at his absolute best for Barcelona. Best believe that midfield is going to have a difficult time. Fermin, watch out for your ankles. Alongside him, Enzo Fernández is showing that he's a guy that can fit any role in midfield for Chelsea. And then we have even more intensity that can come through the middle with the use of our inverted players, such as Cucurella and even Reece James or Gusto if they play. But most likely it's going to be Reece James, as he was tactically subbed off for the first half to get ready for that Barcelona game. And this is where I feel like our pressing is really going to hurt Barcelona. We're going to force turnovers in their half. Then we're going to pick these guys off in the transition with the use of our direct wide threat. And I feel confident that we can maintain this intensity, because now you're seeing the ever-improving Andre Santos start to finally blossom this season. He was the man of the match against Burnley, and this is a player that you can rely upon in the game against Barcelona to help you. So I feel really optimistic that in a tight Stamford Bridge pitch, with the intensity and now the level of tactical understanding that all the players have in Maresca's setup and system, we can really hurt Barcelona. And maybe being proactive against Barca will be the best way to get something from this game, because if you can kind of minimize the amount of times Yamal can get on the ball, you can go a long way in securing something positive against Barca on Tuesday. For the fourth reason, we have Malo Gusto. I'm expecting to see both Reece James and Gusto starting the game against Barcelona. And one of the key things is how Malo Gusto has become Chelsea's secret weapon in the big games, and that's because of the utility role that he plays. Now, to make things kind of simple for you guys to understand, essentially, Gusto is that perfect support player that kind of connects the entire field. He's a guy that helps you form those triangles when you need that option. Let's say you're the winger on the right-hand side. You know that your centre-back is wide and behind you, but Gusto now is in those interior lanes looking to receive and help you double up against your man. On top of that, he offers great defensive support, which is going to be essential when you're looking to kind of stop and nullify those Barcelona wingers. He will be a big threat for us. But most importantly, I like how he moves off the ball. I like how he offers that transitional threat, how he's always looking to offer a lateral option for the team, always looking to be ahead of the opposition midfield to receive the ball. This dynamic role, mixed with his tactical intelligence, is going to offer us a lot of unique opportunities to kind of play through Barcelona's lines. And this is where I feel we can really hurt them and really cause some danger with our very own attacks. And with Gusto, I really feel like we can exploit this Barcelona left flank. We already know that Barca's options at fullback have kind of been struggling a little bit with the understanding of when to trigger their press, when not to. It's not helped when the intensity ahead of them has fallen off quite a lot, so it leaves the fullbacks in no man's areas. And I feel like with Malo Gusto playing this inverted role for us, where he essentially acts as the extra man everywhere across the field for us, we're going to cause these guys even more headaches come Tuesday, because I don't think they'll have much plans against our overloads. And finally, the final reason is Barcelona will suffer against our set pieces. Now, last season, they got a bit exposed at times, especially in the Champions League against Borussia Dortmund and Inter Milan. They also suffered against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final, and Barca's mixture of a man marking and zonal setup has kind of cost them quite a bit at times. On the other hand, we've been scoring so many goals from set pieces this season. We've scored the second most in the entirety of the Premier League, and we've scored 8 goals already in the Premier League. And we've scored them from a mixture of brilliant short passing routines from the corner flag, and also from incredible in-swingers inside the 6-yard box, where our players know how to attack the ball, especially if there's an opportunity for a flick on to the far post. I feel like we can definitely have that physical advantage against Barcelona from our set pieces. This can be a little cheat code we can turn to, depending on any type of difficulties that we could face against a very good team on Tuesday. I feel like the in-swinging meta could really hurt Barca, and I hope that Enzo Fernández will have his boots on tight, because his deliveries this season have been sensational for us. And I think Barca do have this weakness defending their 6-yard box and also the far post. And normally we have a big guy attacking any type of loose balls or second ball situations at the far post. Think about the game against West Ham, where we were scoring set piece goals for fun. Barcelona have paid the price quite a lot from poor, ineffective set piece defending. Let's not forget those epic encounters against Inter Milan last season. And I just feel like the game is kind of perfectly poised for Chelsea to take advantage of Barcelona in these areas. So, my guys, listen, I'm not going to be like Barcelona are crap. We're going to thrash these guys. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm backing my team. I'm feeling confident. I feel like these men can do it on Tuesday, and I feel like a lot of small details are kind of adding up together collectively, and we could cause a real major upset and really get the rest of Europe taking us super seriously and getting on to what we are cooking up at our football club. So my friends, these are the 5 reasons why I feel like we can beat Barcelona on Tuesday. Let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments below. Give me one reason why you feel like Chelsea can beat Barcelona in the comments right now. And I'll catch you guys on match day. Love. Cool.